Hello and welcome to the Texology. I am CA Priyanshu Goyal and this audio episode is part of my podcast series The Texology, which aims at imparting information on crucial concepts of Indian taxation scenario. If you prefer to listen in Hindi, you can watch my videos on YouTube and Instagram. As like other episodes in this series, this is going to be a very short clip with the aim of conveying only relevant matter. In this episode, we are discussing the concept of TDS, that is, tax deducted at source, also known as withholding tax in many countries. Experienced businessmen are well versed with the idea and concept of TDS, but new entrepreneurs get confused with this and find it difficult to understand the laws. Let's understand the basic concept, and even if you feel a bit disconnecting in between, stay tuned till end. We will try to understand the situation with an example. So, beginning with it, as the name suggests, tax deducted at source, that is, deduction of tax at the source or where the income originates. Income tax law mandates that when the person is paying certain amount to another person, he or she shall deduct the certain portion of that payment and deposit that amount with the government as TDS. Now, two questions arises out of this. First, is everyone required to deduct TDS? The answer to this is no. The persons who are liable to deduct TDS at the time of payment are specified by the income tax law, and only those category of persons are required to deduct TDS. Second question which arises is that is TDS required to be deducted on every payment? The answer again is no. There are certain thresholds and limits prescribed in income tax law, and if the payment above those limits are made, then the liability to deduct TDS rises. Now, who is liable to deduct TDS and what are the threshold for it? For this, we will record another podcast considering the complexities and length of the discussion required. Coming back to the basic concept, the person who has deducted the TDS is liable to deposit the same with the government within the specified time limits and shall also file the return of TDS. The person whose TDS has been deducted can claim the credit of TDS in his income tax return, and same shall be adjusted towards his tax liability. Now let's take an example to understand the concept. Suppose ABC Private Limited has to pay 2 lakh to its CA Mr. B for the services. In this case, ABC Private Limited shall deduct TDS at the rate 10% as per section 194J while making payment. So ABC Private Limited will pay rupees 1,80,000 to Mr. B and will deduct 20,000 as TDS and deposit it with the government. Mr. B will be able to claim the TDS of 20,000 so deducted at the time of filing his income tax return. So that's all for this clip. I hope you will find this useful, and if there's any related query or question about this, feel free to reach out to me. My email is info@priyanshugoyal.com.